Hey guys, Liam here. We're going to talk about three things in 3 minutes, hopefully. The first being the debt ceiling and the spending bill. You're being lied to about what the debt ceiling really is. They're saying that the debt ceiling would keep us from paying our bills and we would default on our loans and all that. That's just not true. The raising of the debt ceiling is like the raising of a credit limit on a credit card. When you ask the credit card company to increase your credit limit, that doesn't mean you can't pay your electric bill. That just means that you have to live within your means, and you can't spend more money than you're taking in. The government, by the way, takes in about $320 billion a month. 44 billion of that is used to pay our current obligations, our servicing of our debt. So that still leaves $276 billion to operate the government. So what they're telling you, the raising of the debt ceiling or the failure to do so would result in, is just not true. I kind of like the idea that the government can't borrow more money and has to live within its means. Let's try that for a while and see how that works out. But they went ahead and did it. They went ahead and raised it. 11 Republicans voted along with the Democrats to give them until the first week in December to get their act together, so to make room for their big spending $3.5 trillion spending bill, which is really more like a $5.5 trillion bill. But those numbers are really just a distraction. What's really horrible, as horrible as those numbers are, the really horrible things about that bill are all the socialist programs that are contained within those 2,500 pages, which of course nobody will ever read. They won't read it before they vote on it. So I would encourage you to call your elected representatives. You can get a hold of either your senators or your House of Representative members by calling 202-224-3121 and just asking to be transferred to them. And please ask them to very respectfully ask them to not support this massive spending and this implementation of socialism, Marxism, communism, whatever you want to call it, in our country. Second thing is supply chain. I'm sure you've seen the ships off the coast of California waiting to be unloaded. I'm not sure what's going on the West Coast, but I am a part of the supply chain, a small part of it in my job, my day job. And I was at an international DC just a couple of days ago that's on the Gulf of Mexico area. And I can tell you that this year, far fewer containers than there are in past years. In past years, that yard would be packed full of containers this time of year. It would be really hard to move around in there. That's not the case this year. So that tells me there's not nearly as much stuff coming in. So if you have children in particular and you're shopping for toys, a lot of those toys come from overseas. You might want to start looking for those now. Also, there's some holes in some store shelves that I haven't seen in quite a while. So if they're things that you use regularly, you might want to maybe pick up an extra one or two. And I'm not suggesting that you hoard anything. Don't buy 300 rolls of toilet paper. But if there are things that you normally use regularly and you see it on the shelf, it might make sense to pick up an extra one if you can. Last thing is this Facebook whistleblower, this quote-unquote Facebook whistleblower who, what a fiasco that was. I don't believe this woman is who she says she is. She stepped forward and is being heralded by the mainstream media and the liberals, and even to the extent of having a Senate hearing so that she could tell everyone that there needs to be more censorship in social media, and particularly Facebook. You know, that the lack of censorship in Facebook is making little girls feel bad about themselves. So she's actually coming out and advocating for even more censorship. So I don't think she is who she says she is or who she claims to be. This woman aligned herself with a high-powered law firm. I think it's the same one that represented Lieutenant Colonel Vindman. And she hired a PR firm, and she lined up all these appearances before she ever quit her job. So doesn't sound like she's, bravely coming forward and asking for something very controversial. It's almost like this was all planned, and she's being helped and assisted by the mainstream media and the liberals who are all buddy-buddy with the Zuckerbergs and the Facebooks and the Twitters and Googles of the world. So something just doesn't smell right here. But that's the three things for this time. I appreciate you tuning in. If you got any value out of this, please like and subscribe, and leave me comments below and let me know what you want me to talk about in future videos. I really appreciate you watching. I appreciate your time, and take care of yourself, and I hope to see you again here soon. Thanks. Bye.